Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Jayhawker podcast. And this is an episode that I'm really excited about today. People that know me, or at least have heard me talk about it in the past, I had the very great privilege of being the play-by-play announcer for the Kansas women's basketball team for 14 years. And that was a job that I stopped doing 10 years ago, but the program has never left my heart. So to see them having some success right now and some star players on the team as well really makes me excited. And the chance to talk to one of them today has me excited as well. I want to remind everybody that we are brought to you by the University of Kansas Health System, by Black & Veatch, and by the Next Generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now. And I always love that phrase because we're talking about the future. And we've got one of those players that's not just the future of Kansas women's basketball. She's been the present. She was incredible last year as a freshman, and she's off to an incredible start in her sophomore campaign as well. S'mya Nichols joins us on the podcast. S'mya, great to have you with us. How are you? Thanks for the time.
Hi, I'm good. Just settling back in since we got back from the island.
Okay, that's where I want to start because you guys had a great trip to the Paradise Gym. You won the thing. You got a big come-from-behind win against Auburn. We're going to get to all that in a second. But when I was watching and reading about everything you guys were doing there, it brought back a lot of memories because 11 years ago, I was able to go with the Kansas women's basketball team down to the Virgin Islands for the same competition. So I remember, and I took my wife and my two kids with me. My mother came, and whoa, we had a great time. I mean, a beautiful location, spending Thanksgiving in a tropical paradise while watching some fun basketball all at the same time. Man, it brought back good memories. What was the best part outside of the basketball? We'll get to the basketball in a second. What was the best part about the trip outside of basketball for you?
I'd say hanging out with my team, of course, but we went snorkeling. We went snorkeling like the very first day we got there. Yeah. And it was actually really fun. I was really scared. I am terrified of the ocean and sharks.
Okay.
But it was really fun. I actually got in and my head was underwater. I thought it was cool because like I see it all over social media and I never did that before. And it was a good experience. That was really fun.
Did you see any scary sea life like underwater when you looked down there?
No, I didn't. I seen little cute tiny jellyfishes. Those are cute.
Okay, perfect. So nothing too scary, and it was worthwhile. You're glad you did it.
It was pretty. It was very different.
That's awesome. One of the things I remember about those trips, though, is I don't know about you, but for me, I always grew up, Thanksgiving being a family time. You're home with your family, and then all of a sudden you're a college kid and you're traveling far away on Thanksgiving. Was that difficult to get used to at all for you?
Not really, just because my mom goes everywhere I go.
Oh, nice.
So my mom and my stepdad, they flew down as well. And I just hung out with them when I had free time. And they had a ball. They were just chilling, enjoying the sun. And I mean, I'm thankful that they got to come out there with me. And I thought that it was just a cool experience just to spend Thanksgiving somewhere else as well.
That's fantastic. Now, I saw that you listed your mom as your number one role model because as I saw you say, she's a business person who never takes her foot off the pedal. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about her? Like, what does she do, and how does maybe she inspire you in so many ways?
Okay, for one, she inspires me because I am really into business. That's my major here at Kansas. I just want to do so many different things when it comes to the business industry, and she did many things. She owns a salon in downtown North Kansas City. And she's been doing that for many years, probably since she was about 18. And then she owned a trucking company, which I adored. I adored when she did that.
Okay.
She might get back into that, but she just stopped doing that. And then she's on to like real estate. She just does so many things, and like she just keeps going. That's what I love about her, and I feel like that's what's really inspired me to just want to do many different things when it comes to basketball.
So it sounds like a lot of different things when it comes to the business world too. You're not like, I want to own this type of business. You seem like you're keeping your options pretty wide open.
Want everything.
I love it. Hey, the world's in front of you, girl. I mean, you got it. You're already off to a great start. And that transitions a little bit to basketball because I also saw that you listed LeBron James as your favorite player. And that's the type of player to me that can do everything on a basketball court, can facilitate, can rebound, can shoot, can score inside, can score outside, makes teammates better. Is that what you like so much about LeBron?
Yes, I've always been obsessed with LeBron. Since I was really young, I used to come home from school and I used to turn on his YouTube videos. And then I watched like 5 YouTube videos and they were really long. And then I'd go in the backyard and I'd do every single move that he did. I'd make sure I get a buzzer beater that he did. I even designed my own shoe. It was like the LeBron. That's when like the LeBron 13s were like in style. And I designed my whole shoe. I put my own like signature logo. And I actually kept the signature that I chose when I was younger. I kept it and I use it now.
That's amazing. I mean, we're talking about a business world. Maybe you own your own shoe company someday. You know, we got the S'mya out there.
Right.
I love it. That's fantastic. Okay. Well, you had some LeBron type moments in that championship game against Auburn. You guys are down with less than a minute to go, if I remember correctly, by 6 points. You go on a 7-0 run. And one of the big plays is a steal that your teammate gets, and you end up hitting a 3 at the other end of the court to make it a close game. Can you take me back to that moment, you know, what you saw in the steal and then just like, I mean, because obviously that's a huge swing play in the game when you guys are trying to come back at the very last minute.
Yeah. For one, I'm very proud of my team when it comes to that moment because we didn't choke at all. We all stayed very calm and kept our composure. And I mean, when it comes to that moment, I feel like that's when I noticed that Brandon was not going to call a timeout. So I'm like, oh, like we actually got to go do something. And I just really took what was open. And it's not like I'm a bad 3-point shooter. So I was like, okay, like we'll shoot it. And it went in. And everyone else was excited. I wasn't too excited because the game was not over.
Right.
It was a surreal moment. I probably still don't really think it's like real, but we won. That's all I know.
Well, I also know that you hit the game-winning free throws, right, with 4.5 seconds left in the game. So now I need to know, because you said you practiced the buzzer beaters, you know, in your driveway. Did you practice game-winning free throws back in the day when you were a kid growing up?
Honestly, I still do that when I'm like in the gym. Like if I know I'm on like my last 2 shots on a free throw line, I'll be like, okay, like if I make these, then we win the game. And that's just like in practice when we're shooting free throws, or like if I'm in the gym by myself and I'm shooting free throws, like I'm just like, okay, like if I make these last 2, we win the game and I can go home. And that's not really how my mind was on that free throw line. I literally sat on that line and every single shot that I shot, I was just like, God got me and it is what it is. Like whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And he had me.
You know, I tell you what, I think it's fascinating because I always felt like, you know, on the one hand, you can say that a buzzer beater is a tougher shot because somebody could be trying to defend you. You don't have time to set it up the perfect way you want. You kind of have to just, you know, there are other factors at play. When it's a free throw, it's just you. Nobody can defend you. You got your time. You can get in your rhythm. Or on the flip side, the way I always felt was the buzzer beater happens. You don't have enough time to think about it. You're just relying on your human reactions, right? You've shot 1 million 3-pointers in your life. You catch it, you shoot it in rhythm, and it goes in or it doesn't. But when it's a free throw, you got all the time in the world to think about it, right? And it's all you. There's, you know, it's going to be up to you. What do you think is tougher, or are they both easy because you're just money? You know what I mean?
I'd say, that's a good question because I honestly agree. Like when it's the buzzer beater and it's like someone's actually guarding you, like ball is in play. It is like, I feel like the chances are a little lower. Chances are a little lower because someone is guarding you. And yeah, I'd say free throw. I'd go with free throw.
Yeah.
I shoot so many free throws in my life that I'm just going to go with the free throw.
Yeah. So, hey, you knocked them down. You guys win the game. What do you think was the best part from the team standpoint of what you guys either learned about yourselves or maybe something that you feel like you really improved upon? You said how proud you were for the comeback. How do you feel like you guys maybe took a step forward as a team just through the course of this competition at the Paradise Jam?
Yes, our improvement on playing team defense. We're a very help-heavy defensive team, so we've really been trying to stress that we just need to play defense as a team. So like make sure we keep rotating over. And lastly, I'd say we had 3 games in 3 days, and there's no practices for these games, if that makes sense. So we have like little tiny walkthroughs, but we're in like a conference room, and when I tell you we were all locked in, just making sure that we understood the scout, we understood how to guard them, and making sure we facilitated our plays well just to get an advantage, because obviously there's no practice to be had to be able to prep for these people. Not these people, but those teams.
Your opponents. I got what you're saying. Is it a little similar to getting ready for the NCAA tournament? I know you got a day in between, but the turnarounds are quick, right?
It's nowhere similar to that, just because that day is helpful in the tournament.
Okay.
Because you just go right on the court and you prep for that next opponent. And we had about maybe 2 hours, 1 hour in the conference room, with that being scout and just going over their plays. I think we did really good on that. Just our attention to detail, it really showed on the court.
Well, and you ended up with your season high 28 points in that championship game as well. And I saw the comments from your coach afterwards that you were the best player in the tournament. Obviously, you won the MVP. And that kind of brings me to a bigger picture, because you obviously had an outstanding freshman season. I had a chance to talk to Coach Snyder on this Jayhawker podcast before your season started this year about the added responsibility that you're going to take on as a sophomore. It's like, hey, you were a really good player with a lot of upperclassmen last year that you could maybe lean on. And now it's like, hey, this is you're the LeBron James of the team now. Like, you're the one that, I know you got a lot of great players around you, but this is, the responsibilities on you to help carry the team. And I'm curious how you're liking that. How do you feel about that responsibility, and how's it suiting you so far?
I don't ever feel overwhelmed, really. I feel like I have a great support system around me. So I guess I could say I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to lead, just knowing that we have a lot of newcomers, and I know what Brandon is wanting, and I know I know the potential of our newcomers and how great they will be. And I mean, they're already getting better and better every day. So I think it's great. I think it's good for me, for sure. And just being a sophomore, I have to lead for another 2 years.
Or you get the opportunity to,
Yes,
it's a privilege.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things you said, what Brandon wants, I thought this was really interesting. He said that he came to you in the offseason and said, what do you want? What are some things that you think we need to be doing better as a program? And I'm curious, first of all, just what was your reaction? Because I don't know how many coaches would go to a young player and have that type of question for them. What was your reaction when he came to you like that?
I wasn't really shocked. I'm sorry. I feel like I just go day to day, just chill. So I was like, okay, let's talk about this. And honestly, what I wanted was a very disciplined team. That's honestly what I wanted. That's what I asked for. And I put in suggestions, you know what I mean?
Suggestions? Yeah.
Yes. And for example, just one of the big ones, when he says something, we're all yes, yes, we understand. Because I know it's easy. As a freshman, a lot of people understood, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's just so make sure everyone's on the same page. And then a lot of team bonding off the court, because that's really important, which definitely was displayed in the Virgin Islands, because I felt like there were times where we were in a drought, but our team culture just kept us together, and that's really what won our games there.
Okay, so when you talk about team bonding, how much of that is just doing fun stuff outside of basketball? Is that what you're talking about, or other things?
Yes. It is fun stuff. Like we go to the movies a lot in our pajamas.
Okay.
I'm sure we're gonna go see Moana soon since it just came out.
Okay.
And it's simple things like we take each other to Hy-Vee to like go grocery shopping. We go grocery shopping together. We have many girls who don't have cars, so we hang out with them. We pick them up. We go get lunch, dinner, breakfast, any of that. And lastly, we planned like this like Friendsgiving that we did before we left. And that was fun. Everyone got to bring a dish, their own dish. And there's so many different things that we do though. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, a lot of things that we do is considered team bonding because we do stay with each other most of the time.
So what did you bring? What was your dish?
I brought mac and cheese
Okay.
and I made a roast in my crock pot. Shout out to my mom for buying me a crock pot. Yes.
Okay. And where'd you get the recipe for the roast? Like, did you already know how to do a roast? Okay.
Yeah, my mom.
Now, when we're talking mac and cheese, you're not like doing the Kraft instant box with the powdered stuff, right? Like what goes into the mac and cheese that you're making?
I got a cheese shredder. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I shredded all of that. Actually, my roommate shredded all of that. And evaporated milk. We need all that, all the seasoning. And I actually boiled the noodles. I did the whole thing. I did the whole process.
Amazing. And it turned out good. I mean, like the reception.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And what was the best dish that one of your teammates brought? Maybe one that you hadn't had before, just one that you loved, like you wanted to get seconds of.
Zoe Canfield, she made these really good mashed potatoes. Those were very good. And then our foreign players, it was Laya and Carla. They brought a Spanish omelet. I told them to bring something that's unique because like it's not like we'll just try everything. And they brought a Spanish omelet, and that was cute. Not cute, but like it was it was good. It was very different, but I thought it was very good.
The presentation was good.
The presentation, yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, we're visiting with S'mya Nichols. Friendsgiving is a great idea. I love the team bonding. When you mentioned you're going to go see Moana, that was one of my daughter's favorite movies, but my daughter really wants to go see Wicked. Have you guys, is that on the list too? Have you guys seen it? Are you planning on seeing that one?
We have to add it to the list. I kind of got off it a little bit because I heard that it was kind of in relation to Wizard of Oz, correct?
Yep.
Something like that. I was never a fan of Wizard of Oz. Okay. So I was like, I don't know if I want to go see that. But we'll see.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. I know there's a whole series on the Wicked side, but from what I understand, it's a very, very different take on the Wizard of Oz. Like it's like from the opposite side of the story or whatever. So I don't know if you go see my daughter, I just know my daughter really wants to see it. So, let's get back into where this team is headed this year. You mentioned Zoe. Bringing up my gray hair again, but I was in college when her dad was, and he was a really, really good basketball player himself. She's a shooter. You've got some shooters, and that's one of the things I talked to Coach Schneider about coming into this season was the hope that you really can spread the ball around, spread defenses out by shooting it from the outside. How's that coming so far? I mean, do you feel like that's going to really be one of the strengths of the team this year?
Yes, by far. I feel like we definitely haven't reached our full potential. So people have not seen the best, but we have some great shooters. We have Elle. She's a sniper. I am genuinely always looking for her. And we have Brittany. I know you guys didn't see her play for a while, but sniper as well. And we just have many people who are very confident in their three-point shot, which helps me help them, really.
Yeah. And you've got 4 home games in the month of December.
Yeah.
After being gone over Thanksgiving, how excited are you to get a stretch of home games here right before the holidays?
I love home games. I love Allen. Allen's just so historic, and just see my family there and all the fans, because we do really appreciate the fans that come. But I also love going home to my bed. That's the best part.
Well, not to quote a movie that you don't like, but as they say in The Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home, and that
Yes,
was about Kansas. So
it was. It was. I think I might have just been too young when I watched it. I was like,
yeah,
I don't like this. I might gotta watch it again. I might have to try it again.
yeah, there you go. So listen, you mentioned your family coming to the games.
Mhm.
Did I understand it correctly? 5 sisters?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a crowded room full of ladies. I mean, what is it like growing up in a family with 5 sisters?
I was the youngest, so they weren't fighting with me at all.
Okay.
Okay, honestly, Tyra, her and I got into it all the time. But like she was 8 years older than me, so I probably got everything I wanted, so of course she'd be mad. But still, other than that, we never fought.
Yeah.
It was honestly very loving. I was a baby, so they all like wanted to hold me and like kiss me 24/7. I hated that. But it was crowded. It was girly, very girly household.
Yeah.
Just
Now, I know you picked your basketball jersey number because of one of your sisters who wore actually number 21, and then when you look down at your jersey number, you had it backwards. But which sister was that? Did most of your sisters play basketball?
No.
Okay.
It was Tyra, the one that I used to fight with. I don't know why I wanted to keep her anyways. I hope she sees this. I'm just kidding. I love her.
What was her game like?
I can't remember. I really can't remember. I was so young. I remember just going to her games, and I'm pretty sure she used to play a 4, like a forward.
Okay.
And really athletic. She was also very, very good in track.
Okay.
But all I know is that she was just competitive. She's competitive in everything she does. That's probably why we butt heads every time.
Yeah, well, that ties in. But there's nobody you want to beat more in a sport than your sibling. I know that. Was she the inspiration for you playing basketball in the first place? What got you? What created your love for the game?
Yes, her, and also just my mom. She wanted me to try something different since, again, we didn't really have any hoopers in our family. They were mostly like dancers. Like I was a dancer in the beginning.
Okay.
And to be honest, I had a deep dream to be a gymnast. I wanted to be a gymnast so bad on the balance beams. And my mom said no. And she was like, let's try something different. And I actually really liked it.
And so you just picked it up from there, and then that's amazing.
And
I mean, would you have ever?
Like,
what's that? I
said I wasn't terrible either. Like just for being so young and being the first time, like it wasn't like, it didn't look like I like had no future in it.
You feel like you were natural, like right away?
Yeah,
Like, hey,
it was pretty normal.
good.
Yeah, it wasn't like terrible at all.
You seem very comfortable in your own skin and in the situation that you're in, which is just great to see because you've got so much going for you. And I think we've got a really exciting season ahead. You've already got off to such a really good start. It's really exciting to get a chance to talk to you. And I appreciate the time. And I'll just finish it up by saying, what about the holidays? Like, what do you look? Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to most with the holidays right around the corner?
Yes, me and my mom just talked about this last night, and we are going to do like a family sleepover at our house, which will be really fun because I got my nieces and my nephew like a lot of gifts, tons of gifts actually, and I just can't wait for them to open it. That's about it though.
How much do you love being an aunt?
I love it. I love it. We have one boy. He's honestly the only boy. That's why we were really surprised that my sister was having a boy. And I adore him. He's adorable. He talks so much though. And I have 3 nieces, and I adore them too. I used to babysit them when I was about like 14. So they have been around for a while. And then I have a younger niece. She's like 1. Yeah, she's about 1 year old. And they're all just really spoiled by me. Yeah,
That's fantastic. I mean, I love being an uncle, being an aunt's just great. And it sounds like you're going to have a heck of a holiday season as well. Hey, S'mya, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations on everything you've already accomplished in your time in Kansas, and best of luck on everything that's still to come.
Thank you.
And I'm going to say this. Someday I'm going to own a pair of those sneakers of yours. That's my prediction right there, and I can't wait for it. So good luck going forward this season. Hope we get a chance to talk to you again soon.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that is S'mya Nichols. This is the Jayhawker podcast. Don't forget the Kansas women's basketball team have 4 games at home coming up in the month of December. And as she pointed out, if you love Allen Fieldhouse, if you want to see some exciting basketball, a good team, shooting 3-pointers, some star players, all of that, get to some of these games in the month of December before we get to conference play. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have our call of the game presented by the President Hotel, and we'll wrap things up right here on the Jayhawker podcast. Hey, S'mya, that was awesome. You're great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Go get them. Happy holidays.
You scroll, tap, swipe, text, call, and do a lot more on your phone. None of us can fathom life without all the world's knowledge in our pocket. We use phones for just about everything. But when it comes to doing the bigger things, like streaming, gaming, and working, you shouldn't be limited to just your phone screen or mobile plan. You see, millions of Americans don't have home internet. They're forced to do everything on their phone or through their mobile service via a hotspot. Or they go to public spaces and use unsecure Wi-Fi, which can be problematic when dealing with personal or sensitive information. You deserve reliable home internet that fits your life and your budget. And right now, Internet Essentials Plus from Xfinity is free through the Affordable Connectivity Program. Get unlimited data and equipment included with no annual contract. Go to Xfinity.com/free to see if you qualify. Restrictions apply. After program participation ends, Comcast standard charges, taxes, and fees apply. May not be combined with other offers.
I had this patient. His cancer treatment had him in the hospital for a while. One day, he was telling me about his grandson and how a big night was coming up for him. So we arranged to make it a big night for my patient too. I sometimes wonder if I'm doing all I can. Then I help make a moment like this possible, and I know I am.
Nate Bukaty here, and I want to tell you about my favorite hotel, the Hilton President. Looking for the perfect place to stay for the Big 12 basketball tournament? It's the closest hotel to T-Mobile. On-site Starbucks, the best breakfast around, and over 200 rooms and suites to choose from. The Hilton President Hotel has just what you need. Plenty of parking, which is hard to find downtown. Contact the Hilton President Hotel at 816-221-9490 or online at presidentkansascity.hilton.com. All right, we're back to wrap things up on this edition of the Jayhawker podcast. Once again, our thanks to S'mya Nichols from the women's basketball team for joining us. Hopefully you get a chance to go support the KU women's basketball team here in the very near future. Again, they've got 4 home games in the month of December. Speaking of home matches, want to remind you that the volleyball program, number 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, will be taking on Colgate on Friday at home at 6:30. That's the second game of a doubleheader in the NCAA tournament that'll be taking place there. North Carolina State and Florida will be battling it out at 4 o'clock, and then you've got Kansas versus Colgate. 4th straight year for the volleyball program in the NCAA tournament after a tremendous season that saw 6 players earning some sort of all Big 12 honors. So good luck to Coach Bouchard and the volleyball program. If you can't make it there in person, you can also watch that match on ESPN Plus 6:30 on Friday. Now it's time for our call of the game, sponsored by the Hilton President Hotel, the only hotel in the Power and Light District, just steps away from T-Mobile Center. Over 200 rooms and suites to choose from. Call 816-221-9490 or online at presidentkansascity.hilton.com.
KU by 1, 61-60. No timeouts, Auburn. Here come the Tigers. 10 seconds. Bostic on the bounce right side. Guarded by Copeland. She goes up top. Nichols has her on a switch. 5 seconds. Down to 4. Bostic attacking left of the lane. Leans in. Missed the shot. Ball game over. Kansas wins. And the Jayhawks are champions of the Island Division of the Paradise Jam.
That's going to do it for this edition of the Jayhawker podcast. We'll see you next time.